The biggest thing is I've said it all along. I think I'm overrated as a recruiter. Um, we've had kids that made the decision to come here, and it's played out well for almost all of them. But my thing is I want to be able to sleep at night. I want to make sure that I'm telling the truth. I want to make sure that I'm sticking with guys. A guy like Hami, he started and had 18 points. Everybody was going crazy, and knowing what our jobs are here means that we don't get every kid, and we get the ones we are supposed to get. It just kind of plays out that way, and it always has. And it's not changed my approach to this. Now, maybe because of social media and the video games and the stuff that there's a different, not as much on the playgrounds and the pickup and the fight for and maybe they do want to hear that it's going to be easier and this, and but I come back to the same thing. I got to be able to sleep at night knowing that I'm being honest. I'm not embellishing. I'm trying to be, here's what it is. And I'm not saying that against anybody else. Everybody recruits the way they recruit. But you got good programs and good coaches, and that's why we don't get everybody we recruit. We're not the only ones out there trying to get good players and trying to help kids.
Cal, is it exhausting at all knowing you're working on this team right now, but you already have to worry about next year's roster, knowing as much turnover as you kind of have?
The thing that is exhausting to me is that I don't have a rear view mirror in my car, and everything is that way. So I don't really look back and remember how hard it is when you're going through a season. I remember the end of the run, the season ending, and all the other stuff. And so what tires you out is the grind of, I got to make sure I'm putting these kids in the right spot. I got to make sure who's struggling. All right, how do I bring them in? How do I get each individual playing better? How do I make this about this team? How do I get them to understand to be great teammates? How do I not prepare them game to game, prepare them to get better in the process? And I tried to skip some steps early in the year. How did that work? Not real good. And so now, here we're playing Winthrop. And you may say, Winthrop, Pat has done a great job with this team. He's got seniors. He's got guards. One's averaging 20 a game. The other's averaging whatever. They're shooting 33s a game. And we've really guarded the three pretty well so far this year. And they play fast. They drive the ball. They space the court. All stuff that it's going to show us where are we now compared to where we were 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. Okay. So it's like this game. This is VMI. Oh, you're going to bury VMI. Oh, yeah? They make 19 of 38 threes.
Cal, to your point, I think you guys are 330-something in three-point percentage defense right now. You said the other night, my team don't leave corners. This team is leaving corners. What do you
hands down guarding?
What do you do in a practice that stops that?
You keep drilling it and talking about it, but there's going to be game slippage. We talked about it, showing the tape. You left. How are we playing this? What were we talking about? Why would you do this and not that? I got it. Hands up. Stop the tape. There's the guy playing like this. The guy released the ball, and the guy went like that, and then said, "I had my hand up. I had my hand up." You didn't have your hand up. Your hand was down. The ball went over your head, and then you went like that. I had my hand up. So you just drill it. You train. You boop, stop on the baseline, run. But they're going to get it. You try to push it along, but they're going to get it on their terms. It's just how this stuff goes. And then, like I tell them about games, I mean, if someone's not playing well, he's not playing as much. We'll deal with you in practice. It's your responsibility to perform. If you're playing well, you're going to play more. Just how it is. Got to get a couple guys playing better. Yesterday's individual work, I had a ball because I was able to get with small groups and really zone in on individual guys. But it's a process. This is never easy. it is tiring, like it's tiring. And, but I don't think there's anything else I'd rather do than try to prepare a team. Again, for us, our goal every year is that we're playing our best basketball at the end of the year. And, you know, obviously we got a lot of upside right now.
This three-point defense, is that a new challenge for you? Because you're right, your 9 seasons, 32% is the worst three-point defense.
We say that again?
32%.
Yeah. How many times was it under 30?
Twice, I think. 27 and 15. So is this a new
So
challenge?
it's scrambling. Again, the way teams are playing is a little different now. Now they have 4 guys out that can shoot. So it is a little different. But the idea of anticipating, when you're a high school player, you're just worried where your man is. You're not worried about what's happening over here. So now to get them to see the ball and then anticipate what's coming next. If we had to leave or you have to leave, go. Then someone will get your man. The second part of that is trust. If I anticipate what's happening, I got to trust that someone has my man if I leave. We're not anticipating and we don't trust. But let's see where we are compared to where we were. Let's see where we are a month from now. This team should be a great defensive team, a great rebounding team, a great post-up team that can shoot threes. That's what it should be, where my vision of this team.
Calvin, you mentioned the way offenses have changed and the way the NBA is going. Do you think your offense has evolved as a modern offense?
Yeah, but I've also, though, played where we've thrown it to the post. I mean, I'm going to play to the strength of the team, but it has. Everything is now spaced. You may have a guy in they call it the dunker spot, which is under the basket, so that if you leave, they throw lobs. They've now gone to 5 out, where that big guy trails, and you got everybody out, where back cuts and handoffs and space. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on. And it's the one thing that shooting the ball is a premium. This team should be a good shooting team. I just don't understand why we got a couple guys that aren't making shots. When we watch on tape, the biggest thing is quad A can get a shot off with a guy 2 steps from him. We have some other guys, literally, the guys in the lane, the ball comes to you and they're not prepared. They're having to process versus get that thing off, shoot it. But we got a bunch of really good guys that listen, that if you walked into practice, they want to do this. It's just not happening overnight. And this game that we're playing, you know, you're at Kentucky, and you're supposed to win every game by 25. You have to deal with that. And it's just not, it isn't how the stuff happens.
I don't think we've had you on camera talking about Tyrese Maxey or Dante Allen. What do you like about those guys?
They're going to be terrific here, both of them. And I think Maxey gives you the size at guard and the playmaking ability and the shot-making ability. He defends, he rebounds. He's one of those, you know, like this was a guy that I really felt we really had to get that guy. And Dante being in state, you always want to get that guy. You want to get a guy that you know, all right, this guy can make it, and he can make it here. And a guy that wants to be here. You always want guys that want to be here. This is so hard that, you know, these guys are finding out. Bubba, the game before, was 0 for 4. And then against us, he went 10 for 19. He hit 2 lights, fell into the bench. I mean, that's what happens. And I would expect we've got to make it difficult so guys can't do that. But they do it here. And those 2 guys, I think, are built for this. And I'm happy about them.
What would you say to people who are panicking about the big men in that next class?
We still have some guys there. You know, it's funny how it always plays out. Staff's working at it. There are things that happen, you know, things where all of a sudden something changed for what happened there. It's how recruiting is. And I'll say it again. Me personally, I don't know about my staff. I think I've got a great recruiting staff, but I'm overrated as a recruiter. I'm not, you know, I just try to tell them this how it is, and it's hard, and You know, probably I want to undersell and over-deliver, and then I want kids that come in here like Comby, like Isaiah Briscoe, that have a basis to be able to go in that league when everybody says, well, there's no way, and they make it. Obviously, the stars, the Anthonys and the others that are, is fine, but it's about the bigger picture of all these kids being prepared.
Our guys, Calgary best teams though have had that guy, you know, the dominant guy who
Yep.
walks in here.
Well,
Maybe
Shea,
not walks in here,
Shea,
but
Shea
like
was
that,
not, Shea did it after 10 or 12 games. Then Shea became that guy. Kevin Knox was, and then by the end of the year. So my hope is that's what happens with this group, because right now, you know, it's a consistency too now. Like, you can't just be that every third game. You got to be that guy. I've had it where it's been a point guard, but we had Marcus Teague at point, and that not who he was. It was the other guys. So we've done it all kind of different ways. And I'm not, you know, I'm not budging. This team is, they'll be as good as they want to be. And if they keep growing and getting better and they have great attitudes, and they really do. But we've thrown a tough schedule at them. You know, to start and to get rocked, and then to come back with teams that can beat you, and then play another team that can beat you, you're like, whoa. It's, you know.
Thanksgiving plans for you guys?
What's that?
Thanksgiving, you guys all do?
Yeah, we'll do what we do every year with our team is, you know, we'll be at the Salvation Army serving. I think it's a great thing for these kids to be there and serve food and sign autographs and take pictures and touch people who are huge fans that, and I always say, you know, only with God's grace, that's not us. You know, and I talk to them a lot about, think about where you've come from. Think about what door you could have walked out of, and that could be you. And only by the grace of God, that's not me. And I could tell you my background where I could have walked that way instead of walking that way, and that could have been me. And so they get a chance to, you know, respect, be humble, and I think it's good for the soul, really do. Thanks.